coming up very shortly. Welcome back to Northampton Shale Way here on this very damp European Championship day for the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars. A few teams already with a bit of damage to repair as we count down to the big race coming up a little later on in our programme. Tom Harris, a non-finisher in his second heat of the day earlier on. Heat number 4 about to get underway then. We have 25 cars on track for this one. We're underway. Good start there through the middle of the yellow graders by 313 of Carl Roberts. It's Darren Clark, number 83, who will lead them away. Former Rebels and Grand Prix midget racer. The rain is coming down again here at the Shale Way. We are underway. One car into the wall already. That's Tim Warwick in number 307. New cars getting caught up together among the yellows and the blues. 335 Mark Woodhull under fire. He's going to be spun out. 216 Jack France goes as well. He gets clobbered by Craig Finnegan in the 55. You can see there from our camera on turn 2 the rain is definitely coming down again. The yellow flags have come out and a couple of spun cars to be retrieved. See again there, Mark Woodhull tried to get through on the inside curb almost of the back straight there. Spun aside along with Jack France in 216. He gets collected by Craig Finnegan in the 55 and somebody else piling in there, one of the blue graders as well. Couldn't identify who that was. Darren Clark, the leader, ahead of Liam Gilbank in the 20 and 313 of Carl Roberts. We're back underway. Danny Wainman attacking our camera car, Carl Hawkins. Wainman picked up some damage in his first heat early on, so it's good to see him back out. 313 has now taken over the lead. Carl Roberts, the yellow grader, loves racing in the wet conditions, does Carl. Specialist on the wet shale at Stoke a few years ago. Phoebe Wainman going off onto the centre, joining Jack France. There's Sam Makim, number 93, under fire. And Lee Fairhurst under attack for Rutger Valk in H27, but Valk puts himself into the wall. Chris Cowley there, number 37, trying to get into that all-important top 12 to get into the National Points Championship shootout stage. Darren Clark has spun out the early lead there and wallop straight in goes Junior Wainman in 515. Well, Wainmans have suffered a fair bit of damage this weekend. Let's see Danny's car repaired there. And there's Bobby Griffin, another man contesting the shootout places. He had a rollover in yesterday's meeting and has had to do a lot of work on that car to repair it. He's running his yellow aerofoil, his spare one, in this race. He's not a yellow grade driver. He is further up the points than that. He's replaced the whole rear axle of that car overnight. Carl Roberts continues to lead the way, firing out Colin Nairn there in the 280 car. But to be fair to Colin, he has unfortunately spent most of his weekend facing the wrong way. On board with Chris Cowley, and there's Bobby Griffin getting an attack in, and in goes Cowley. So the shootout battle is well and truly alive for those last few places in the playoff. Carl Hawkins under fire from Cowley now as he tries to recover. They've been feuding for much of this weekend, those two have. These two, another couple of drivers trying to get into the top 12 in the points. Rutger Valk now gets the bumper in on Carl Hawkins. Had a win yesterday in the heats. Junior Wainman battling with Lee Fairhurst in the 217 car. It's still Carl Roberts up front who leads the way in car number 313. It's not battling for the minor placings here, trying to move their way forward. 55 of Craig Finnegan just ahead of these two. Behind we've got 212 of Danny Wainman. There's Bobby Griffin under fire from treble 5 of Frankie JJ. Now for our race leader in a moment, on board again with Carl Hawkins, coming under fire from Bradley Harrison in the 25 car. Lost Colin Nairn there. He's having a pretty disastrous weekend, we have to say. Union flag is out for halfway then. It's still Roberts with the lead, but not for much longer because here comes Dan Johnson in the number 4. He's raced through the order fairly quickly. Seems to be revelling in the conditions here this weekend. He had a win yesterday. As the rain continues to come down, Johnson has the lead. Coming up to lap the 169 car, it's Billy Johnson, no relation to Dan. He goes a lap down. Have a look who's pursuing the fast orange, number 4. Looks like it's Neil Scriven in second place in the number 11 car. There's Colin Nairn sticking out of the fence backwards on turn 3. Neil Scriven ahead of Billy Johnson in 169. And Dan Johnson collides there with a spinning car. It hasn't slowed him down. Bradley Harrison there in the 25. Johnson has still got the lead. There's Neil Scriven in second place. Behind them is Billy Johnson. too clear whether he's on the lead lap or not. A little tricky to follow in these wet conditions, of course. Darren Clark going for another spin in 83. Carl Hawkins gets through. He's still running fairly well up the order, ahead of Rutger Valk, and behind him, that's Chris Cowley. Yes, the 37 with the red and blue aerofoil. He's about to go a lap down to the flying Dan Johnson, the man from Nottinghamshire, in the MVS Van Sales car. 55 there, Craig Finnegan, still battling it out with 217 Lee Fairhurst. Junior Wainman is just behind them. He's attacking the 216 of Jack France. We saw him spin out at the start in the MJS recovery car. Here's our second place man, number 11 of Neil Scriven, trying to avoid running wide into the very deep shale there, because he's coming under fire from Mark Woodhull in the 335. Sam Makem in there as well in 93. Oh, and they collide with Colin Nairn stationary car. That's ruined it for Scriven. Oh dear, oh dear. Now Woodhull going to be spun out by Craig Finnegan as the superstar graders make their way forward. Here comes Fairhurst, and get out, says Junior Wayman. He puts Fairhurst almost over the top of Finnegan and takes off into the distance down the straight. They're trying to catch Dan Johnson here, but they seem to be too busy tripping over each other. We're on the last lap now. I don't know who's going to get second place in this one. We know who's going to win it. Dan Johnson, again, keeping his head while everybody else is well and truly losing theirs in the pack. Here comes the number 4 of Dan Johnson. Meantime, Carl Hawkins, oh goodness me, goes almost up the fence there. He nearly rolled over. I think that might have been Chris Cowley trying to put the boot in there, but Hawkins will make it home. What on earth happened there on the final turn? I thought Carl Hawkins was going to roll over. What a frantic race there for the minor placing. But missing all the fun was Dan Johnson, who wins by nearly 10 seconds. Junior Wayman eventually got second, ahead of Lee Fairhurst, then Danny Wayman, Craig Finnegan and Mark Woodhull. Frankie JJ in 7th, Liam Gilbank 8th, then Bobby Griffin and Carl Hawkins, 2 of the shootout battlers, rounding out the top 10. Frantic stuff there in heat number 4.
Winner of Heat 4, number 4, Dan Johnson. The weather took a turn for the worse, but your setup hasn't. You were on it.
Yeah, the car were really good then. It's anyone's race tonight. In that big European, absolute anyone's race. Yeah, naturally me and Tom are quick, but it's anyone's race, so we'll see. It's giving it a level peg really, but the car were good then. We altered it again, then loosened it up a bit, let it turn, and to be fair, it still had loads of drive. So I think, yeah, I think we've mastered it. A bit more wet, but and hats off to Dean. Everyone was slaying him about the track and that, but that track, King's Lynn cancelled at the weekend. We knew it weren't going to be good weather, but Dean stuck at it, said, I've spent the time and the money this year, I'm running it. And to be fair, the racing, there's been a good couple of races I've been involved in, and I've really enjoyed this weekend. Really, really good. The track's been superb.
And what will you change tactics-wise, knowing you're going to be up the front? The track's going to be a bit slippy. Do you try and stay steady, or do you think, no, got to go for it straight away?
Got to make that gap, haven't you? And hopefully the others can't catch you or they crash. That's what we'll be doing.
It is now time for the main event, the 2019 Brisca Formula 1 European Championship. Dutchman Chalet Rijdanus has qualified on pole with Dan Johnson alongside him. On the second row, reigning champion Tom Harris and Lee Fairhurst. Cohen Maris and Rutger Valk make up row 3. Then the Waynemans, Junior and Danny. Rounding up the top 10 on the grid, Mark Gilbank and Craig Finnegan. The rest come through behind. 30 qualifiers on track. Given the rain is coming down again, it's getting wetter again out there. You can see the dry line has disappeared. I don't think we are going to get too many finishers here. It's a long race, 25 laps. Rijdanus and Johnson lead them round then. The European Championship, 30 cars, 25 laps. Let's get ready to rumble. And already Junior Wayman has been spun out. Half the cars aren't even going to reach the start line at this rate. Junior Wayman's gone around. Everybody else just piles in on the outside. Cohen Maris leads into the first turn from the third row of the grid. There's no grip out there at all. There's no visibility either. There's not going to be many cars complete the first lap, never mind the last one here. Tom Harris hits the wall. They can't even turn in. Nigel de Kock has gone in H525. Well, half the field's gone already. In fact, half of them in that pile-up on turn 4 never even got a chance to start the race. Is this going to be red flagged, I wonder? Well, no, the race is continuing. There's Frankie JJ in treble 5. Neil Scriven's in there on turn 4. Cohen Maris has got the lead. Craig Finnegan second. Tom Harris has kept going in third place. Now he goes out wide. He's going to go into a pile-up on turn 2 there. Carl Hawkins and Rutger Valk involved in that, among others. Well, surely this race is going to have to be stopped because half the field didn't even get a chance to start the race properly. Now Cohen Maris has crashed out of the lead. He's hit a spun car there out of Jack France, and now the yellow flags come out. But I thought surely we were going to see a red flag because most of the field never got a chance to start the race. Well, half of them eliminated already. Here's what happened. They came round towards the green flag. It was the problem there, I think, was drivers trying to win the race before it had even started, trying to get the bumpers in there. That's sadly a feature of championship races these days. Junior Wayman was first to spin in 515. There was no way through for anybody behind him. So only about the first 4 rows got away okay there. And everybody else just piled up even before reaching the green flag. We see in there into the wall Danny Wayman in 212. So I think all of the Waymans were involved there. Liam Gilbank gets taken out just under the starter's rostrum. So we're ready for a restart, and nearly half the field's been eliminated already. Back underway then. Hard to see who's where in these chaotic conditions. In the lead we've got Cohen Maris. He went out after the yellow flags had gone out. Chalik Raidanas attacks him and probably spins himself out, so the pole sitter's gone. They can't even turn in. This is impossible. 55 Craig Finnegan then up the inside as they come into the back straight. He's going to take the lead. Maris in second, Mark Gilbank is third, and second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth, everybody's crashed out there, and Craig Finnegan is going to be left on his own. He could be the only one running in a few moments' time. I don't think a Brisca F1 championship race has ever had one finisher before, but Craig Finnegan looked like he was going to be the only one who got round turns 3 and 4 there. Matt Newson's still going. Well, this could be his chance to win his first major title because he could end up as last car moving. There's no grip out there whatsoever, no visibility either. Tom Harris has kept it going, so's Billy Johnson, but we've lost, I think, half the field already, and we're only on lap 4. On board with Tom Harris in car number 84 then. We know Finnegan's leading, and already, unfortunately, I haven't got a clue who's in second place. We've lost Lee Fairhurst there on the exit of turn 2. There's Matt Newson under fire from Dan Johnson. They're almost having to help each other round just to race properly. There's Finnegan. He's got the lead of this. This is the only major title in Brisca F1 that Craig hasn't won. Dan Johnson attacks Matt Newson now. Well, if you can't drive round him, try and drive over him, is what Dan Johnson's thinking here. They're stuck together down the straights. Coming to a halt under the starters' rostrums. That's 2 more major contenders removed. I think it's Tom Harris up into second place, possibly, as a result of that. Coming up on Nigel de Kock in 525. There's Finnegan. He seems to be the only driver with any pace here, but the yellow flag's out because of those 2 cars stuck on the home straight, Johnson and Newson. There's stranded cars everywhere. We're not going to get many finishers to this race, whatever happens. We're only on lap 6 of the 25. Where's Dan Johnson? He mistimed his attack on Matt Newson there and ended up driving, well, nearly through him rather than round him. And 2 major contenders removed there. Another one out in the background, Lee Fairhurst. I think the Waymans have all gone after the initial pile-up. This is all playing into the hands of Craig Finnegan and, well, Tom Harris making his way back up after his early problems. There's Finnegan with the lead then, ready for the restarts. Behind him is Carl Hawkins in 175, and then we've got Laurens de Vries, the Dutchman. There's Harris. Those are the few stragglers that remain behind them. Lap 7 then, we get back underway with Finnegan leading, De Vries up the inside, but he's never going to make it round the corner, surely. Into the wall he goes. Hawkins goes as well, along with Rutger Valk. Now that, I think, has possibly put Paul Hines up into second place in 259 and Tom Harris third. And behind them is Valk, Billy Johnson, De Vries recovering, then Mark Woodhull and Cohen Maris. There's not many left beyond that. Now De Vries goes again and takes Rutger Valk, I think that was with him. It's Cohen Maris, sorry, in the other H car, H61. Craig Finnegan already clear, and we're not yet at halfway. The best vehicle to have in these conditions is probably that 4-wheel drive pickup that led the cars round at the rolling start. You should get some grip in that. Finn Sargent in 526 is still going. Carl Hawkins trying to battle on in 175, at least pick up some places. Craig Finnegan out front as Rutger Valk goes through. We saw Cohen Maris do that a lap ago in the same place. Looking now for Craig Finikin. Here he comes down the home straights. If he stays in front here, he will complete the big four: world, national points, British and European. Tom Harris has done that. There is the 84 trying to reel in Craig now. It'll be even more significant for Craig because his father Bert won the big four in his illustrious career as well. The Formula 2. Incidentally, we must congratulate Stephen Mallinson, number 788, who retained the F2 European title earlier today. Harris now getting the power down, as we saw in his heat earlier on. Won one heat and failed to finish the other, which affected his grid position very slightly. He's closing on Craig Finikin now as Carl Hawkins goes across turn 4 there. I think he just can't see it. Now Harris catching Finikin, tries to put him into a back marker. Sam Makim. Craig Finikin survives that. He's ready to attack again if he can keep with the 55 car, pushing De Vries out of the way there. Craig Finikin has got to keep his wits about him here because Tom Harris badly wants to retain his title. Harris a little bit sideways there. Finikin holding his ground in the 55 car. He's being as careful with the throttle pedal as he can. We've seen already one false move and you spin out. Now coming up on Finn Sargent in 5.26. Can Craig Finikin emulate his famous father and win the big four? Only 8 drivers have done so in Brisca F1 history. All 4 titles. We're only just over halfway through this European Championship for 2019 here at Northampton Shaleway. Finikin, if anything, is pulling away slightly now from Tom Harris. It's unusual to see a driver pull away from Tom Harris, especially on shale. The half-distance flag going out there, that went out a little late. It's probably as tricky for the starter to see what's going on as it is for the drivers. The amount of mud that's flying around. Kurt Maris gets lapped by the 55 of Finikin, and he really has pulled away now from Tom Harris in second place. It's just between these two now. I think it's Paul Hines in third place in 259, but he's way back. There's not many cars left running now. But as we saw, disappointingly at the start of this race, nearly half the field didn't even get a chance to start the race properly. Harris still giving chase, but he's losing ground to Finikin here. There's Will Hunter still going in 220. He likes the mud as well. Chased by Billy Johnson in 169, the flying stripper as he's known. I think all these cars will need stripping down after this one to get all the shale out. H525, Nigel de Kock has spun out. Around 7 laps to go now. Coming up on Billy Johnson in 169. I believe he's in 4th place here, so the yellow grade are running well. There's only a few cars left running. Rutger Valk under fire there from Will Hunter. They both go out wide and tangle up, so 2 more cars possibly eliminated. Mark Woodhull attacking Carl Hawkins further down the order. Sam Makim has spun in 93. Starter points them through. Still Finikin on the back of Woodhull and Hawkins now. They go a lap down. Will Hunter still caught up there with Rutger Valk, I think that is, on turn 1. They're trying to free themselves, at least get a finish. But a finish is tantamount to victory in these conditions. And Craig Finikin, the man from North Staffordshire, is completely dominant. Pulled away even from Tom Harris, which is certainly no mean feat. Kurt Maris still going for the Netherlands, chasing 175 of Carl Hawkins. I think with the demise of Rutger Valk, yes, Kurt Maris, the only Dutchman left running now. There is a trophy to the top overseas finisher. That is going to go to Kurt Maris, or is it because he spins there, wallop backwards into the inner wall? Hopefully he'll get going again. There goes Tom Harris. On board with him as we go down the back straight, just around 3 laps to go now. Tom Harris still in second place. Oh, he's gone wide there, he's lost it. Tom Harris into a half spin, he collects a stationary car. That's ruined it for Harris. He rejoins, slams into the side of Sam Makim. Well, that's ruined it for Harris. He's not going to retain his European title. It was unlikely anyway, unless something happened to Craig Finikin's car, and an angry Tom Harris gets back underway Well, there is Craig Finnegan going past Paul Hines in 2:59, who's now second. That means Craig Finnegan, incredibly, has lapped the entire field. He's a full lap ahead of everybody else, and he's coming round to start his final lap to complete what will be an incredible achievement. There's another spin for De Vries there in 79. Well, Craig Finnegan coming into his final lap. His father Bert won the Big Four: World, National Points, British and European. Craig Finnegan has won the World, National Points and the British, and he's going to complete the Big Four by a full lap here at Northampton Shaleway. Here he comes around the final turn. Your 2019 Brisca F1 European champion is Craig Finnegan in 55 with a devastating drive in impossible conditions. No grip, virtually no visibility, and he laps the entire field. An incredible drive from Craig Finnegan, a deserving winner of Euro 2019. Craig Finnegan the winner by a full lap, incredibly ahead of Paul Hines. Tom Harris recovering from that late half spin to take third, and Billy Johnson in fourth place. Mark Woodhull in fifth position, 2 laps down, with Kern Maris the only Dutchman to make the finish. Will Hunter, Carl Hawkins and Sam Makin the only other cars left moving at the end of that race.
55, Craig Finnegan. Not just final winner, 2019 European champion.
Thank you very much. Made all the bad luck yesterday, and the heats today, it was all worth it. All the lads and the team did well to get the car turned around last night and back out again to get some qualifying points, and it was all worthwhile. Now we're winning that.
And you must have thought Tom closed up on you part way through, and I don't know, either you hadn't seen him coming or something, but you got a spurt on after.
I didn't actually see him coming, no. I was trying to get my goggles on, and I had a good hit from behind, and I knew somebody was there, so it was time to get a move on. I think I did the last half of the race with no goggles, so the eyes are going to be sore tomorrow.
And I'm sure you were counting the laps down, listening for every little noise and every little thing going wrong.
Yeah, with 2 diffs going yesterday, I was listening to every vibration and noise that was going, and when I got a chance I could back off, I did do, but it was hard to see. But I think as far as we know, we lapped the whole grid, but we finished, and that was the main thing.
And you've now joined an elite club of being a driver who's won every title, but it's a father and son as well, I believe.
Yeah, so we've just been told first father and son to win all 4 major titles in the sport, so
that's certainly made the weekend worthwhile, hasn't it? So enjoy the rest of the weekend now and go and have a shower.
Yeah, thank you very much.
One race to go then this European weekend. This is our final race, the Grand National, the Internations Cup race, racing for the Bev Greenhalgh Memorial Trophy in memory of the man who was the voice of Brisca F1 and indeed the voice of Northampton Shaleway for many, many years. And a great help to me as well, a guiding light when I began my own commentating career a few years ago. Thanks, Bev. Be racing his memory then. Just 11 cars out there for this one, but there is still some interest because the two cars that have tangled up there, Bob Griffin and Chris Cowley, are fighting along with Carl Hawkins for a place in the shootouts, the top 12 for the National Points Championship. There was we already saw them coming to blows there at the start of the race. Wayne Marshall, number 483, is your early leader, but for how much longer? He's spun himself out there, and Sam Jacklin goes into the lead in 137. Now stranded there, that's 555 of Frankie JJ. Looks like he could be out of it already, as Jacklin leads the way. Another car bouncing off the fence there in the background. Billy Johnson in 169 in second place. As the race starts to settle in, third is Neil Scriven in number 11. The cars to watch though: 37 Chris Cowley, 175 Carl Hawkins and 166 of Bobby Griffin. The car repaired after rolling in his heat yesterday. They're fighting for places in that all-important top 12 and the chance to play off for the National Points Championship. There's Bobby Griffin under fire from 169 of Billy Johnson. Griffin trying to unlap himself, I think, there as we lose Sam Jacklin. So but that's Billy Johnson into the lead in 169. Griffin we saw in trouble early on, tangling with Chris Cowley, the man who he's fighting with for the spot in the shootout. Ironically, conditions clearing up again, typical, right after the big race. Johnson leads it. That's Frankie JJ's car stranded on turn 1. Neil Scriven in second place. There's Carl Hawkins, he's third. And we've got Wayne Marshall still running in 483. Again, I'm not anticipating many finishers here. Only 11 cars took the start. Many of the drivers electing to load up after the main race. And to be honest, in these conditions, who can blame? Fair play to the few who have stayed behind to entertain the crowds as the leaders tangle. Billy Johnson and the 11 of Neil Scriven. That's put Carl Hawkins into the lead in 1.75 then. Just behind Bobby Griffin. Now Hawkins, I think, is likely to go into the shootouts. But Bobby Griffin needs points here, and Hawkins puts him into the fence there at turn 3. Who's that facing the wrong way? That's Will Hunter in 2.20. Now Griffin needs to keep going here. He needs a few points to try and get into that top 12. Carl Hawkins with a clear lead now then in 1.75. Billy Johnson's recovered in second place. There's Griffin, there's Scriven in third. Then we've got James Morris in 4.63 in fourth place. Bobby Griffin will want to know the whereabouts of Chris Cowley here, number 37, as both he and Scriven nearly lose it, confronted by the sight of Will Hunter's stranded 2.20 there. There's Billy Johnson still going in 1.69. Lost the lead in that tangle with Scriven early on. Still your leader is Carl Hawkins, number 175. There's Kyle Gray battling on despite a flat tyre in car 124. The UK Open champion won that at Skegness in conditions about as different as you can get to these. Billy Johnson helps Wayne Marshall into a spin in the Matt Newson hire car. Lost Sam Jacklin, buried axle deep in the mud on the outside of the turn there, on turn 2. As Hawkins continues to lead, there's the Union flag out for our race leader. He is running away with this one, although admittedly everybody else more interested in taking points off each other, I would say, in the pack. Billy Johnson still second, I think, then James Morris. Bob Griffin and Chris Cowley, the two to look out for, though. There's Morris in 4.63, another proven mudlark, as they say in horse racing. Kyle Gray has spun in 1.24, doubtlessly due to that puncture. He's out of it. Still Billy Johnson in second. They're not going to catch Carl Hawkins here. He's heading for the win and a spot in the shootout. Will it be Griffin or Chris Cowley who qualify? Still waiting to find out. Kyle Gray, I think, has given up the struggle. He's out of it. Towards the final 5 laps of this European weekend. The weather's done its best to ruin it, but full credit to the track preparation team who've worked their hardest here to enable this meeting to take place. Dean Woods to John Sargentson, the track manager here, and all their helpers. Thank you and well done to all of them. There's Neil Scriven still going in number 11. He's still in fourth place. There's not many cars left running now in this Internations Cup for the Bev Greenhalgh Memorial Trophy. I'm sure Bev is looking down with approval on his sport that he was such a major part of for so many years. The voice of Brisca. Oh, Chris Cowley spinning in 37. Now that could be crucial in terms of the points. Is he going to get going again in 37? He's trying. Waiting for a gap in the traffic there. He does not want to risk damaging his car. Tries to get going again. No, he's rolled to a halt on the inside of turn 1. I think Chris Cowley's out of the race. What a shame. So if Bob Griffin gets home here, he will get into the shootouts. There's James Morris in 4.63. He's in second place, I think, now. No, correction, he's in third, sorry, behind Billy Johnson, because there is the 1.69 car. Morris in third. They're not going to catch Carl Hawkins. He's heading for his second win of the weekend and of the season. Here comes James Morris now, the second place one, held up by the back-marking 4.83 car, and Morris will go through into second place. Coming round to start his final lap of the weekend is Carl Hawkins in 1.75. At a much reduced pace. He knows there's nobody near him. He's heading into the National Points Championship shootout stage. And so will be Bobby Griffin in 1.66. Bad luck to Chris Cowley. falling at the last, very sadly. Carl Hawkins comes in to take the win. He wins the Bev Green Half Trophy. Way ahead of everybody else. It will be James Morris, I think, in second, ahead of Billy Johnson. We'll confirm that in just a moment. There's very few cars left out there now. Bobby Griffin is going to make it home. He will qualify into that all-important top 12 for the shootouts. It's going to be a very interesting battle this year for the National Points Championship. The win goes to Carl Hawkins, and he takes the Bev Green Half Trophy over 10 seconds clear of James Morris, with Billy Johnson third. Neil Scriven in fourth place ahead of Bob Griffin. That's the most significant result. And Wayne Marshall, the only other finisher in that Internations Cup Grand National, racing for the Bev Green Half Trophy.
Grand National winner, 175 Carl Hawkins, and a result you needed.
Yeah, really needed it. I was 6 points behind Cowley going into the last race, so to get in the shootout, and I got it. Obviously, I don't think he finished, did he?
He got caught in the shale. There was drivers going off everywhere in that one.
Yeah, so that worked out really well. And I won the Bev Green Half from Roy, which is good. So
that's a nice trophy to have as well. Nice way to round out the weekend. And there wasn't many drivers in it, but credit to all the drivers this weekend for putting up with the conditions and putting on a show.
Yeah, especially that race. A massive credit to anyone who went out in that. A lot of people didn't. It weren't one to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, now you can relax, go home and get warm.
Yeah, better start saving my pennies for the shootout.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, here we see the 12 qualifiers confirmed for the National Points Championship shootout. Tom Harris at the top, but more significantly down at the bottom, Carl Hawkins and Bobby Griffin make their way into the top 12. Congratulations to all 12 of our shootout qualifiers. But that concludes the European Championship weekend here at Northampton Shale Way. Most teams with plenty of shale to wash off, but one driver will get the red and yellow paint out. Congratulations to our new European champion, Craig Finnekin.